How you doing?
I'm good.
So you had an opportunity to see this video?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just saw it not too long ago. It's crazy, ain't it?
yeah. We watched it, and they're discussing it in another young woman's live.
No.
I'm gonna say this. So, where he lives at, the women over there have no rights. None. None at all. Again, none. None at all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you asked why do I think he posted that video?
Yeah, like what do
Because
you
he
think he was so? Why do you think? What do you think made him so like confident and bold enough to even post something like that?
I think he's tired and bored of bullying, harassing, and being disrespectful to his own women because they can't say anything back. He's tired. He's like a big kid, and you can see it in him, right? He's used to bullying and saying whatever he wants to his sisters, his females, cousins, his friends' wives. He's used to it, and he's tired of it. So he just figured, let me put my feet out in the water with the sharks. That's why I really think he did it.
So when you see a video like this as a black woman, obviously there's some black women on the internet that are encouraging other black women to just totally what were y'all talking about the other day? Decentering from men and just divesting from black men in general. When you see a video like this, do you think because look, as a man I can tell you that I think there's a lot of men of other cultures that feel the same way, but a lot of people aren't bold enough to like turn their camera on and make a video and post about it to the whole world. So when you as a black woman, when you see a video like this, do you really think that like men of other cultures love black women as much or more than black men?
So I think black women have a really bad rap. There's systematic things that are involved, and I say that all the time. So when you say, do you think we're desired? I think individually, all men are different.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, some women are desirable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but are you asking us to like, are we desirable like Asian women, Indian women? I don't think so. It doesn't hurt us though. I don't think that hurts us. I think other races of men individually realize some black women are brilliant, creative, um, vivacious, loyal, and individually, some men are going to marry a black woman who they deem have all of those qualities. But if you're asking collectively, are we viewed as Asian women? No. Indian women? No. No.
Let me ask you this, Miss Storyteller. So you said you think black women get a bad rap. Why do you think it is that they get a bad rap? And do you think that black men um, do you think black men aid in black women getting a bad rap? And if you do believe so, do you think that they're like, they heavily aid black women getting a bad rap?
I, to be honest, I don't think is I don't. I'm gonna try to say this. So I think they do aid in us getting a bad rap. I think the bad rap we have gotten comes directly from slavery, though. Because whenever we read slavery books, they use the same words about black women that they used back then. So when you see the ads, right, that were written when black women were being sold, they said strong, masculine. This one is not mouthy. She's docile. They use the same words and they just continued the rhetoric, just like they've done with our men. And that has happened because we have no power in this country. We don't write the history books. They do. So they just kept the same narrative about us. Like I said, if you look at them ads where they were selling black women as slaves, they're using the same language, right? It has never changed. So if you pull up an ad right now from when they were selling slaves, look at the language they used. They did not change it. And because we have no power in this country, they kept the narrative. And I do believe our men started to believe that about us, though. That's what I think is dumb. I think our men started to believe what white people was telling them about their own women.
You think they started drinking the Kool-Aid?
I do. I do.
So, storyteller, this is what I personally believe, and I've always said this. You know, the conversations that are had online on social media between black men and black women, I honestly just see all of it as entertainment. Do I believe that there are real discussions that need to be had going on? I absolutely do. But as far as like, people going as far as to say a gender war, I don't believe that there's any gender war, because in my reality and just in real life in general, like off the internet, black men and black women are procreating with each other. The small percentage of us that are getting married, the large percentage of them are getting married to each other. Black men and black women are dating each other. And I don't think there's a lot of black men or black women that just have negative experiences or just see each other in a negative light at all. But so I say all that to say, though,
Hold on, let me say something to Chad Ross in the comments.
Okay.
Chad Ross, you say there are a lot of men in other cultures that feel this way. The things I've heard them say is crazy. Now, I'm gonna say something as a black woman. I've heard some outlandish things about black men, but I check the people who are saying it. See, that's where we differ. That's where we differ. A lot of men are okay with how other races of men speak about black women. Black women overall don't play that. We just don't. So it's interesting how you can just say that in the comments and not realize that was your opportunity to check them. They should not feel comfortable enough. I have been in situations where I've heard other races of men talk about our men, but as soon as they started, I stopped it. Because you have no right to speak about my men. You just don't. You just don't. You just don't. And so I just nip it in the bud. So I just want to say, Mr. Chad, if that's what you're doing and you letting them get away with it, believe it or not, bro, they're looking at you like you kind of a chump too. I'm just going to put it out there like that.
So, Ms. Storyteller, do you think, though, that, when we're on the World Wide Web as black men and black women having the conversations that we have, and again, like I said, I do believe that, some of us are hosting discussions that, the community does need to be having. And, some of us, we don't have an agenda. We're not trying to push a narrative. We're not trying to push propaganda down people's throat. We're trying to hear from both sides. But even when we're having these discussions and you have, black women that may have had a bad experience with one black man or several black men, and they enter these conversations and, they talk about the deficiencies of the men that they've dealt with, because the men that they've dealt with aren't representative of all or majority of black men, and vice versa. But do you think that when other groups of people are on the internet watching us have these conversations, that despite the fact that they probably haven't even dealt with us personally themselves, that like the guy in this video, because the guy in this video doesn't give me the vibes that he's actually even dealt with the black woman before. But my question is, do you think that they start formulating opinions on
No,
us? Okay.
no, I think other ethnic groups already have an idea about us before we even say anything, because it's in their history books too,
Right.
right? It's on their television screen as well. In China, they still put blackface on in their movies, in their shows. They do that in China still,
Wow.
right? In their cartoons and some of their animes, they still portray us like really Aunt Jemima looking. And this is today. This is today.
Right.
If you're well traveled, guys, you know what I'm talking about. So I think every ethnic group has an idea about Black Americans because it's in their history books as well. We don't control the narrative, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because like I 100% agree with you like that because whether they do or don't deal with us, the media and society and America itself already, pushes a narrative of us, to start off with. So I don't think them seeing us have conversations with each other is gonna have that much of an impact on how they see us. So yeah, I
Right.
can
And when you ask a lot of people who don't like Black people, if they know Black people, if they've ever spent time with Black people, if they went to a school, they'll tell you no.
right.
A lot of white Americans who live in rural places who don't come in contact with Black people hate us. A lot of people who come directly from China who end up here don't like us. It's not a coincidence. We can't control this. So I don't think, no, the debates we have I don't think it would matter. I don't.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't see it like that at first, but you made I can't disagree with you on that. That makes 100% complete sense. Like you said, we don't even control the narrative. Like as black people, like when we're accomplished, when we're successful, like we're individuals, right? We're not representative of the group. But when we're not accomplished, when we're not successful, when we're out here doing bad, that person isn't an individual. That person is a representative of majority of black men or a majority of black women. At least America tries to make it seem like that.